Morning, everybody. It's beginning a new day, day number 4, and we're gonna jump right into it. You may have noticed I wasn't feeling real good yesterday. Had a little sniffle going on. Actually, it's been kind of going on the last few days. But I got hit with the cold today, so I'm starting a little late to get this video going. And I've had a little coffee, so I'm kind of amped up and wide-eyed, which is good. But video is going to happen. With that, I'm going to jump right in and try to get this going. This is the beginning of a new day. God has given me this day to use as I will. I can waste it or use it for good. What I do today is important because I am exchanging a day of my life for it. When tomorrow comes, this day will be gone forever, leaving in its place something I have traded for it. I want it to be gain, not loss, good, not evil, success, not failure, in order that I shall not regret the price that I have paid for it. So I gotta be honest. I've done this is the 4th video. The first 3 videos where I did that prayer, I've been saying that prayer for decades. In the first 3 videos, all 3, I screwed each of those. I didn't do the prayer right once. So if any of my classmates who are on my football team that we had to say that pretty much every day, you're probably laughing at me. I just nailed it, though, for the first time in 4 tries. So give you a little kudos on that one. All right. To-dos. I got 2 products put on the site. New word was positive and strategic. So those 2 have now been added to truemydentity.com. I like both of those words. Positive is actually one of the core values of True Mydentity. So I'm happy that that's on the website. That actually leads me to a point about what I've learned, more of a tip that I'm going to give you guys today. The other to-do that I had was look into video editing tools, and I did not get to that last night. I crashed last night. I've been staying up too late last few days trying to figure out how to do all these videos and everything else in my life. So I did not look into video editing tools. That is still a to-do, and that is so I can work on these videos so I can use them for True Mydentity. So I'll get to that at some point. What I learned, or the tip I'm going to provide today, is in order for me to prioritize my workload, I have roughly 150 words that I want to put on t-shirts that I want to put on my website. So that means I have 150 product names, right? So a t-shirt with positive on it, but there are small, medium, large, extra large sizes and double extra large sizes. So they all have their separate SKUs. They all have their separate pricing. So I have to go in and I have to do all of that on the website. So for 150 words, there are, 10 different variations. So multiply that by all the work that has to get done in order to get on the website. It's a lot. So to prioritize the workload, a key thing that entrepreneurs, small businesses, side hustlers, soon to be, want to do is think about keywords. And keywords for an online business is very important. It comes down to SEO. It's a magic word in small business. And what that means is search engine optimization. Everybody may have heard of this organization called Google, as they're taking over the world. But they have carved out the space of search engine optimization. And basically what they do is they look at everything on your website and they try to determine how relevant that is for words that a person types into their search bar, and they will show what they believe to be, based on all of the coding and algorithms they put together, what's the most relevant answer to the words typed in by that person. Now that means the words on your website have to be the most relevant for the terms that that person typed in. So that is SEO optimization. Figuring out how to optimize your website with the right words, images, content, in order to pop to the top for a certain word in Google. So to be relevant, most people don't go past the first page of Google, which has, I believe, still about 10 listings in ranked order based on what the most the most relevant website would be for the question you are asking Google. So what I'm doing for True Mydentity is I'm trying to prioritize the products I add by SEO or keyword relevance. So for positive, for example, and strategic, those two words are searched for a lot more than I don't even know. They're searched for hundreds of thousands of times a month versus 10 times a month. Maybe that's a better way of explaining it. And another attribute for those words is there's low competition, meaning there aren't a lot of other people that are trying to put focus on the word strategic or the word positive. Therefore, the chance of me, True Mydentity, popping to the top if somebody searches for the word strategic or the word positive, there's a better chance of that. And because so many people are looking for it, I am prioritizing those words. So I have this list of adjectives and nouns that I'm prioritizing for True Mydentity to put on products, but I'm also looking at their keyword attributes that Google tells me people are looking for. And I prioritize those by the most popular versus the least popular. So that is a strategic approach to how you want to prioritize potentially product launches, building your website, what kind of content you put on your website, how you explain your content, meaning or your business. So if there are certain words you want to rank for, meaning you want Google to pay attention to you, so when people search for what you're about, you pop to the top. You want to make sure that you're putting those words on your site. So there is a bunch of information. It is very thick with information on how to do SEO. Some is good, some is bad. Make sure that what you're reading is current because it's ever changing, because Google is changing their algorithms, their formulas, and how they're calculating what's the most relevant information. So you need to make sure that you're referencing the most current information. Don't go back to 2012. Don't go back to 2009. That's old. It probably isn't even relevant anymore. So make sure it's current if you're doing research on SEO. So that's my tip/learning for the day. So let's jump into who I want to give credit to. I had my third sale yesterday, so I'm pretty psyched about that. Thanks to Carrie Schmidt-Pros, former classmate of mine. And I would say that she provided some very awesome feedback. It made me feel good more than anything, because she told me that she really liked how diverse the imagery was used on the website, and I intentionally did that because I'm talking about people's identities. I mean, could you talk about anything more important to an individual other than themselves? I mean, honestly. So I have to be cognizant and understanding of the multiple diverse identities that are in the world. And because America is a melting pot of the world, I have to represent that. So she gave me some legit feedback on that and even offered a few suggestions on how to improve it. That is important to me. I need that kind of feedback, and it was very valuable. And I promised her I would take that into consideration and do it. There's actually a specific thing she gave me to do, and I'm going to do that. The other thing I wanted to offer praise to was my Aunt Karen, who lives in Guam, a little tiny U.S. territory between Hawaii and the Philippines. She wrote back after I had sent the introduction email for True Mydentity and this whole video series, and she wrote back to me and she said about the first video she must have watched, empowered is a word that they used in her nursing career to help patients steer them in the right direction for their well-being and their health, and how they use that to help nurses get motivated in doing that for their patients. And then she also told me that my 101-year-old grandmother, she thinks this is the truth, and I'm pretty sure it is, knowing my grandmother, that people would call her stubborn, and she would say, I am determined. No, I am determined. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because in that first video, I shared my determined t-shirt, which is my word. That's the one I've used for myself. So it was like I was channeling my grandmother when that's all come to be, and just getting that called out by my aunt was awesome. So that made me feel really, really good. She's a hero of mine, my 101-year-old grandmother. She is incredibly determined, and if you want to call it stubborn, so be it, but she is a hero of mine. So I want to give praise to those individuals. To do for today, I've got a few of them. 2 more products to put on the website. I'm also going to do an FAQ page on my website to make sure that I'm answering at least relevant questions that people may have about True Mydentity and who we are and what we do and how they get their orders and shipping and all that good stuff. And then I'm going to update all of my product descriptions based on yesterday's video and feedback that I got from Holly to add unisex to all of the products, so that is understood up front in the title. Now, I will note, based on that SEO thing that I was just talking about, I have been using men and women. Those terms for t-shirts are very relevant terms. So men's t-shirts, women's t-shirts rank very high in SEO. That's why I chose to use men and women versus unisex. So I'm not going to take men and women out of my SEO strategy, but I'm going to simply add unisex to the title of the product when you click on it. So if you look at it, it'll say men and women, for men and women /unisex. So it's at least included in there. And I wanted to note that, entrepreneurs, because your SEO still has to play a priority in addition to communicating effectively to your customer. So you have to find that balance. It's not as easy as doing one or the other. So that is a to-do for today as well. And then the word for today is strategic. And I think I've kind of given you a few examples today of why it is helpful to have strategic thinking that goes into your business. I think from an average Joe standpoint, just daily life, right? So you have the opportunity at any given time to make a decision, make a choice. And the thought that goes into that could be instantaneous, based on reaction, what you've learned over time or what your body is telling you. Or you could actually think about it and put some quote-unquote strategic thought into how you want to approach something from a decision-making standpoint. That is, in essence, strategy. So our natural intuition is to try to figure out the most beneficial choice for us or for people that we care about or for the world, right? Just as a general practice of good nature. So the word I wanted to talk about, or strategic being the word that I wanted to talk about, I think today is, because it's now Saturday, I wanted to just reference how maybe we don't put strategic thought into everything and it is more reaction. And from an entrepreneurial standpoint, that's not all bad. It's okay to just react and learn as you go. The downfall of that is you may have to go back and fix things because what you don't know, you don't know. Have you ever started a project and said, screw it, I'm not reading the directions. I'm just going to try to put it together, and then find out you've got 6 screws left and you lose a leg halfway into whatever you're doing. It's happened. I know it's happened. So if you take a strategic approach and say, hey, I'm going to follow the directions, they put it together, unless you're doing like some products that don't give you legit instructions on how to put their shit together, which happens. Again, that comes down to customer experience, business owners. But be strategic about how you approach something, an issue, a decision, and really think about what's the most optimal way to approach it. What are the tools that could be put into place to help you make it easier? Who are the people that could really give you some assistance in tackling that decision, whether it's guidance or physical strength, added to lift something, whatever it is. Think about what the most optimal solution is instead of just struggling through it yourself. And that's it. I hope you have a great day. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Bye, everyone.